All right, it looks like it's about that time. We'll go ahead and, hey Roger, we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. Good morning, everyone. Great to see you all. Um, wish we were doing our usual hybrid meeting. It's a flashback to a year ago when we were all doing this completely virtually. Of course, some of us continue to enjoy the virtual, and some of us enjoyed seeing each other's smiling faces on the Thursday, on the Rotary Thursday morning. So, but we'll take this. Any fellowship we can have with other Rotarians is a good day. So we're going to start with we're going to bypass the pledge today, if it's okay with everyone, and we'll start with the invocation. Um, and Fred's going to lead us in the invocation. Fred, would you please lead the invocation?
Yes, let's pray for a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season. Let's pray for family members who have grown distant and alienated, that we may reconcile them to us during this time of year. Let's pray for our club and its continued success, our new board as they begin to pursue their term, our current and former leaders who have served us so well. Let's pray for Art and Mary as they battle this Parkinson's disease. And finally, our military folks and others serving overseas in distant lands. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Fred. And I'm glad Art is on here. He's with Bill, or Bill's at their house. I'm glad Art's continue to be able to join us. So let's see if we have, and now I can see more clearly if we have any guests or visiting Rotarians. And it looks like it's mostly family today, unless I'm missing somebody. Yeah, I'm looking around my screen. It's mostly family. So so we'll keep it a family event today. Are there any announcements? I have one, not a big deal, but it was kind of cool. My wife was on a TEDx Nashville last night with a bunch of other NASA folks talking about going to the moon. Lisa Watson Morgan, who's running a big program there, and it was a lot of fun to see her and other NASA folks talking about that. So that's my brag on my wife.
I've got one. I was able to complete RLI 3 virtually, and I would recommend doing the RLI courses virtually if you can find them out there after the first of the year. I think they're going to try to do more. It's a real efficient way to get the courses done.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, for that. I'm going to work with the district or the governor and seeing, aside from us just Googling RLI and things like that, how I can kind of push that to both myself, because I'd like to take those courses, and to the club, just so we're not just jumping in odd spaces. So I'll take on.
Pete?
Yes, sir.
This is Bob Barnes.
Hey, Bob.
We have another meeting next Tuesday, virtual with the HOA RLI group. We are working to come up with a schedule starting in January. The big thing is we're working on is trying to update the material and make it relevant to Rotary today. And so I'll know more information after our meeting next Tuesday evening.
Great, Bob. Please pass that on as you get that information, so we can make sure that the club gets that information as well.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. What other? Yes.
I'm going to brag on Sandy for putting together the Secret Santa. I'm having a blast looking at all the fun facts on my fellow Rotarians on that spreadsheet.
I concur. I had that as a talking item later. I don't know if Sandy's on right now, but it's fun, even if you're not participating, to go onto that link and see what we all like and don't like. I know John and I both like the color blue. Gave us 3 choices and we both put blue, blue, and blue. All right. I don't think Harsha's on, but I just wanted to give Harsha some kudos. It's in the Rotary Rocket, but Harsha got a nice article or a nice story on him on Marshall's, I think, website, and the Redstone Rocket as well. So kudos to Harsha telling his story a little bit. What other brags or announcements? And
Oops, I didn't get a chance to read through the rocket. Cynthia, did you put anything in from Andre?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll just report that I heard an article, heard a news piece on Disney and what they're going through, and got to thinking about about Andre Coleman, who went to Florida to work for Disney, left her club. So I checked on him, and they're doing well. They've had to cut back a lot of things, of course, so it's impacted business. But told him he's welcome back anytime, and he talked about trying to come visit us when he can. So
he went to work for Universal.
yeah, Andre, for the time we had him, was a great engaged club member. So it'd be great to get him back either as a visitor, just saying hey to us, or even if he ever decides to come back to this area. We'd love to have him back in the club. So thanks, Mark, for keeping in touch with him there. On the Jumpstart, which was also on the Rocket, we participated in that in the tune of, I think we donated 50 books to help with that initiative. Hey, Brenda. 50 books to help with the Jumpstart Read for the Record. The goal, I think, was about 5,000 kids. They wanted 5,000 kids to all read the same book on the same day. And they surpassed their goal at 7,000. So kudos to that initiative. And of course, we participated in that as we have every year. Again, this year we couldn't go read in the classrooms, but we were able to participate with a donation. Any other announcements before we get to club business? We don't have a big agenda today, so we have time to chat and things like that, or we might end a little bit early. The big thing that we're going to cover today is the elections, officer elections for our next board of directors, 2021 and 2022. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot. So if you have anything that you want to discuss today, we're not in such a rush. Otherwise, we might end a little bit early. So. We're going to move on to club business unless somebody wants to add one more brag or announcement before we talk about Rotary stuff.
Hey, Peter, it's Eric. I was
Hey,
just
Eric.
curious, Mark, did we get any follow-up? Well, first of all, I want to kudos to the folks that showed up for the whiskey run. I don't know if we mentioned that last week. Maybe we did. And I was going to ask Mark if there was anything else from that. I know last year they gave us a nice donation.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to be the case this year. It was not hugely attended, but it was fun. The whiskey was really good.
I told everybody I participated in a half marathon.
And well, Peter, I don't know where we are, or Sarah, are we set up to do hot chocolate on the 12th?
That's one of our talking items, Mark. Okay. So we can kind of chat about that actually in a second or two. So, but we'll talk about that in conjunction with our other 4 Christmas activities. So we just want to make sure that we're lined up, not just for that one, but the other 4. So as we move into club business, one, the Secret Santa. I don't know if Sandy's on here, not on my current screen. But he did a great job putting that together in a very short period of time. Normally we have a nice holiday party where we all get to see each other. And the Secret Santa was kind of an idea in lieu of that, so we could all still have fun, get to know each other a little bit more through those that questionnaire that Sandy sent out. I think we had maybe over 30 Rotarians participate. Sandy, were there any, if you're on, were there any other instructions to that, aside from maybe delivering the gift by the 13th, I think it is? Let me go to my next screen and see if Sandy's on.
He's not online right now, but like Chris was discussing, there's a spreadsheet out there. You can go out and look and see what your the likes of your Secret Santa and or your person, and kind of get an idea of what they might like or what they won't turn their nose up at. My big question is, how do you get it to your Secret Santa without spilling the beans?
Yeah, the date for that, the final date for that we're supposed to deliver, is that the 12th, Cynthia? Do you know?
It's the 13th.
The 13th, so that's a Sunday, the 13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Cynthia, Sandy said he's going to tell everybody who the Secret Santa is anyways afterwards, which kind of defeats the purpose, but that's his plan. So.
Okay.
You better give me something good.
Okay. Oh,
Sorry
and
about
you're
that.
supposed to take a picture of yourself with the the gift that you received, so we can post it on our website.
Thank you for that tidbit. I probably would have forgot that. I talked to Carrie already, but we got our Interact Club certificate already for Bob Jones. The file came a little damaged, so we emailed Rotary again and asked them for an updated certificate. So we're hoping to get that, and then once we get that certificate, we'll have an Interact in both high schools, which is awesome. And then Carrie will be working with that contact to get that club up and running. Okay, so Christmas activities. We have 4 of them, and I think we're covered there. 2 of them are this weekend, this Saturday, or some of them are this Saturday. The Christmas lights at the library. So that's something that we're working on to kind of brighten up. It's something for the city. It's a community service project, something to just add a little cheer and holiday spirit as you're driving down Hughes and you peek over and you see some nice Christmas lights. Sarah, did you want to touch on that, on the Christmas lights for this Saturday?
Yeah, thanks, Peter. We've got a group of us ready to go in 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. We could use another pair of hands if anyone is willing to jump in with us. I'm a little concerned that we might not have enough lights. It's sort of hard to envision how big this thing is going to be. So if anyone has extra lights hanging around that you could drop by the library, that would be great. So 9 o'clock Saturday, we'll see what we can make happen.
Okay, Sarah, also, I have a large red sleigh that I would like to donate as part of the exhibit, if you will. And if anybody has an interest in wrapping presents, quote unquote, I've got some presents that I've got some Mylar wrapping paper. We could just wrap them and scatter them around. The only thing, Fred, is I need you when you get the bamboo poles. We need zip ties. We need we need tent pegs to anchor the bamboo, and we need what else did I say, Sarah? I forgot.
Well, I've got Manny's bringing extension cords, so we're covered there. It would be helpful to have a timer if anyone's got an extra.
I have a timer.
Okay, that would be great, Fred. And then we need some type of nylon cord or wire, something to make guy wires out of.
And there was one other thing that I said, but I can't remember what it was now.
Hey, Sarah, I can't make it on Saturday, but I've got some lights I'd like to bring. What time tomorrow? Is that too late, or what time tomorrow are you going to be at the library?
Tomorrow's perfect, Eric. I'll be there till 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, great. I'll try and make it by.
Thank you.
I will make it by.
Sarah, this is Melissa. I have the lights too from the float last year for the Christmas parade and some extra lights, so I can drop those off too.
Wonderful. Thank you, Melissa. I really
appreciate
I may have
them. I don't know if you'll need 2 timers, but I may have an additional timer too. If I do, I can bring it. And if y'all don't use it, that's fine.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks.
And Sarah has indicated to me that she has a Raspberry Pi that could be programmed to blink the lights and change the colors, or to, make them move. From what she says, it's very easy to do. Is anybody interested in trying to do that? Sarah, I would assume you have the instructions, right?
Oh, that's a big assumption on my part, Cynthia. I hope so.
Okay, well, there's always YouTube.
Yeah.
Sarah?
Yes.
This is Bob Barnes. I have stakes, and I believe I have lights to bring.
Wonderful. So anybody who's bringing a donation or materials to donate, The library is open today and tomorrow, and we're open on Saturday as well. So we'll be there at 9 working on the project, but anytime between 10 and 6 tonight, 10 and 5 on Friday.
Guys, we don't need directions. If the men will be there, they don't use them anyway. So don't worry.
Yeah, we're not.
You're gonna keep your mouth shut, Fred, right?
We're not very artsy though.
But we get the job done.
There you go. That's all it
Okay.
takes.
So I'll send an email out to the club just as a reminder with that information, including the hours that Sarah just mentioned. And Sarah, I'll be there at 9 a.m. on Saturday as well.
Oh, great. Thanks, Peter.
Not very tall, but if there's a ladder around there, I can use that.
Yeah, well,
Peter,
we've got.
I just wanted to say we won't need instructions anyway, because there'll be women there to tell us what to do.
Okay.
Cliche.
Hey, Fred, Peter said the magic word. We've got ladders at the library, so we don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Christmas lights, it looks like it's coming together. We'll start working on that on Saturday at 9 a.m. And then the other Saturday project that's kind of being led by our satellite crew is the Monarch restoration or planting and things like that. So I think Bailey got a bunch of things donated from the city, including topsoil and other things. So the city's kind of grabbed onto this as well. So if anybody's interested in assisting with that project, I think the times are on the newsletter. Between 8 and 12, you can show up and help plant the milkweed seeds at Dublin Park.
Hey, Peter.
Yes, sir.
I talked to Bailey last night. The city has, laid topsoil, graded out topsoil. And so it's really going to be a matter probably of using some tools to just put some little trenches in, drop the seeds in, and just rake it over. So it's not a huge, probably not a huge long effort. And she has contacted John Few at the Record as far as publicity. None of that's all she's contacted.
Great. So if you want to show up and just say hey and see how the work is going, or join in for however much you can help, that's available too if you're interested in that. And I had a slide in the couple of slides that I show that talks about the Monarch. And I just want to remind everybody, including myself, that this isn't just a speaker that came and spoke about it. This is a Rotary-wide effort to save the Monarch, to help with the pollination and things like that. It's not just our club. It was in our Rotary magazine. It's on Rotary International website. So this is something that Rotarians across the globe maybe are participating in. Okay.
Glad you said that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. I thought the first time, I forgot her name, came and spoke with us, that she was going to touch on that a little bit more, but she just happens to be an expert on the Monarch, which is why when Bailey saw the article in the Rotary magazine, she knew that young lady knew a lot about it, but it's really a Rotary driven effort, not just a speaker came and talked to us about it. Okay. The other two items are the week after, and Mark touched on one of them. So I think it's the week after. So the 5th, and yes, the week after is the Salvation Army bell ringing, which Cynthia just sent the sign-up sheet for that, I think yesterday or last night. So many of us participate in that every year, and that's always a lot of fun. So the Salvation Army bell ringing, so that you should have that sign-up sheet. And then we're doing hot chocolate at the drive-in. So Madison is doing a drive-in with 2 at the stadium. They'll be showing 2 movies, and instead of, we used to do the hot chocolate and cookies at the Christmas parade, and again, this is in lieu of that. We'll be serving, they don't need the cookies because there's going to be a food truck there, so we don't want to compete with the food truck. They probably need the business more than we do, but we will give out hot chocolate. So I might reach out, I'm going to miss her name now. She just left our club. She used to, Paula used to run this every year for us, so it was a no-brainer. She just took it, grabbed everybody she needed. So we don't have Paula this year, so we still need somebody to kind of head that up. If you'd like to head up the hot cocoa initiative on December 12th, please let me know. Otherwise, you may get a phone call from me and maybe a favor to ask. And remember, the answer is yes.
And be advised that all the cups and the thermoses and all that are in the shed, so we just need to pull those out. So all I think that we would need to buy would be the cocoa itself.
Actually, Cynthia, I've coordinated with Peter. I've got plenty of cocoa.
Oh, good.
So we don't need to buy any cocoa. And if we use all this cocoa, City of Madison's going to be comatose. So we're good.
So they're expecting 300 cars. I don't know if that's for each movie or both. And so need a table, hot water, and something that says Rotary, I would assume.
Oh yeah, and for the trees, we probably need to pull the Rotary sign from the shed also, because we have a Rotary symbol that says Madison Rotary or something on it.
So y'all, the cocoa's on the 12th. What time?
Yeah, we still have to coordinate that, Chris. So that's why we need kind of a lead on that one. Mark might know the time. Well, Mark probably knows the times.
I think the gate opens at so to speak, opens at 4. The first movie's at 5.
And then the first movie's at 5, and then the next movie will start sometime around 7.
Yeah, I think maybe a half-hour break between, and then, yeah, that's about right.
And,
yeah.
And we've also got the Rotary tent, the pop-up tent has the Rotary logo on it. That might be a good way to set up the table. I'll be out of town that week, but if somebody needs the code to get in, I've got the codes. I think Fred's got the codes for the storage shed.
Okay.
Well, this sounds easier than the float.
All right, so we have our club activities. I'm glad that our club is doing a couple of different things to help brighten up Madison in December. So, okay. Anything else before we move on to slides and the real order of business today? Let me see if I can pull.
So Peter, this is Larry.
Hey, Larry.
I just wanted to give a quick update. During the past President's Council meeting, when we were doing the nominations, I took an action to kind of write the procedures, just kind of capture the procedures that we typically use to go through the selection process. So I did start a draft on that. I know no one's heard anything, but I just started a draft on that, and I hope to have something out in the next week, week and a half or so for everyone to review. So just wanted to give an update on that. The other thing that there was, I just wanted to make sure you had that captured for this meeting, was one of the things that we didn't talk about during that nomination discussion, but kind of went out as a group email afterwards, was the foundation at-large members. And so Bailey, they should be part of this this election as well. And Bailey and Pat had agreed to stay over and to serve on your foundation board starting July 1st. So we would need a vote there, and of course you can open you'll open the floor to see if there's any other nominations. But those two have agreed to stay on. So.
Okay. And Larry, I looked at the bylaws. So if there's something I miss, or when I miss something, can you kind of ping me on what aside from what's in the bylaws, since it's fresh in your mind since you're writing the procedures.
Sir.
Okay, so today's the election day, 2020. It's hopefully not very controversial. We have our officers that are nominated by the past President's Council, and I kind of touched on that already. Past President's Council, and so we'll be presenting those nominees to the club, and then in the second I'll open the floor to see if there's any other nominations for those positions, and if there's none, then that will be the upcoming board for 2020, or 2021, 2022 Rotary year. So before we get to that, which that's really the last order of business, just a couple of anniversaries. We don't have any birthdays and we don't have any wedding anniversaries this week or over the next week, but we do have a couple of member anniversaries. So Tori's been with us for now 2 years. So Tori, congratulations on your 2 years with the club. Craig has been with us for 14 years, so longtime member with Craig. So Craig, congratulations. And John, who's with us, luckily on today, on his anniversary on the 7th, which is a couple days, has been with the club 8 years. So we're glad to have you, John. Congratulations on your Rotary anniversary. So just some upcoming activities, and we touched on some of these already. Today we'll be electing our officers for next year. The Sunset Group met on Tuesday. And Mark, were you there, or was somebody there to? Chris, were you there? I think you gave a strategic plan update, and definitely Roger was there, so I forgot Roger was on. Can somebody kind of mention how that went on Tuesday?
Sure, yes, John, Roger, and I were all there. We presented the thing that we'll be presenting next week to this group, which is where we are on the strategic plan. We kind of have an outline of where we're going, and we were just running it by everyone to make sure that we're in the right direction before we put it on paper. So we had some good discussion, good feedback, and really had a great time.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Fantastic. Thanks, Roger.
Peter, is it open to question? I want to say something about the storage area. With the strategic plan, it seems like it would fall in line with that thinking. Like a lot of that stuff in there, there's a little bit of junk that you can just throw away. Other things like the soccer kick or even our major fundraiser, how much are we going to keep those things? And if we're not, then that'd be a good reason to clean out the storage area of things we don't need anymore, like that big soccer kick board. So I just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, I don't know if Chris's or the strategic plan, not Chris's, but the entire committee working on it is going to get that much into the weeds, or they're going to toss it back to the club for us to decide as a club what kind of things we'll support. So maybe we can, unless Chris has an answer now, maybe we can wait for her to present the findings or the plan, and then we can evaluate what we're going to do with the storage area. Chris, did you have anything to add?
Thanks for mentioning that, Fred. I don't think that our committee itself will get into that sort of thing, but there will be several activities and committees that come out of this that probably will want that information. So thanks for mentioning.
Okay. So of course on the 5th, this Saturday, holiday lights, and then Saving the Monarchs. On the 8th is the board of directors meeting. And one of the things we'll be discussing at that meeting is we'll really look at the club membership, because come January 1st, who's really past due on their dues, who hasn't paid in a year, who hasn't been participating. Because come January 1st, whatever's on the roster for the club is what we're going to owe Rotary International and dues fees and other things like that. So if there's any cleanup to be had in the club, that'll probably come this month before we get invoiced for all the club members. So the other thing we'll be discussing is maybe virtual meetings. I know it looks like the cases are on the rise. It's not a big surprise. Probably, so we'll discuss the use of hybrid or virtual over the next couple of months. So that's going to be a discussion item, and then you'll see an email on that. Okay, and then Chris is going to be with us on the 10th for the strategic planning committee findings. They'll kind of deliver what they've found so far. And then the 12th is the hot chocolate and I'm covering my thing up over here, and the hot chocolate and the Salvation Army bell ringing. Then the 15th is the Sunset Group meeting. The 17th, always an enjoyable event. What is Rotary? Larry will give us another What is Rotary update, which is always good. And then the 24th and the 31st, we have no club meetings. So we see each other. Well, it's not the 31st. Yes, it is the 31st. Okay, we'll have no club meeting. It's not the 31st. It's December 31st. I think that's what it is. So that date is a little bit off, but we won't meet for the Christmas week or the week of New Year. Okay. So that is it for upcoming programs and activities. Again, I'm about to show you the nominees selected by the past President's Council, and they've all agreed to serve in these roles next year. And then I'll open it up to the floor to see if there's any other nominations for these positions. And if there's not, we'll accept this board by acclaim. So and Larry will correct me if I'm wrong. So of course we knew Chris is going to be she's the incoming president now. She's the president-elect, so Chris will be the president next year. Chris looks forward to it. I look forward to it. So President-elect Melissa will be right behind Chris. So her year of relaxing and coasting will be over. Although she didn't relax or coast, she took on the Thanksgiving baskets and a heap of other things. So Melissa is always very active. And then Bailey will be heading up the satellite club. So congratulations to Eric. He was unanimously selected. There was some discussion around who might be the best president nominee, and Eric's name quickly rose to the top and stayed there. So Eric is the president nominee behind Melissa. The satellite chair-elect, Claire Sohm. So Claire is very active in the satellite club. She's newer to Rotary. I think this will be her second year, but she's engaged, she's active, she's wanting to make big differences or make a big difference, especially focused in the Madison community. So the satellite group is lucky to have Claire there. Cynthia has accepted to stay on as secretary. I think she's enthusiastic about it. This will be, Cynthia, your fourth year or fifth year? Maybe more than that?
No, I think it's 3.5.
Okay, so 3.5 years. I'm excited about the treasurer position. Bob has been the treasurer for, maybe Bob's more excited than I am, but Bob's been the treasurer for a couple of years now. I think this is maybe his third year. He's done a fantastic job. I've never seen those financials so clearly to understand before Bob's time. He's a CFO, of course, so that helps. But Bob's done a great job, and I think John is going to take over for that. So thank you, John, for agreeing to that. Unless we have other nominations, we look forward to you running with what kind of Bob put together, and hopefully makes that job a lot easier for you. Mark. He's been nominated for club service. So Mark's newer to the club, and there was some discussion around new club members joining the board at an early time. But I think I was on the board my first or second year, and there's many of you on the board the first or second year. And it's a great way to get engaged, stay engaged. Mark did a great job already showing his leadership when he ran our initiative for Polio Plus. So we're excited to have Mark taking over for Eric on club service. And then I'm covering myself over here. Community, I believe Sarah has decided to stay on or agreed to stay on, and she was selected as well for community service. This is Sarah's first year in community service. She's doing a great job, so she'll keep that ball running her second year. Carrie has agreed to stay on the youth service. He's done a great job for several years now. He likes the position. He gets better at it every year. Truth be told, with the Interact Club now at Bob Jones, now we have two, plus the great job he does at Ryla. So we're happy to have Carrie stand as youth service. John, this will be his second year in international service. So this is John's first year. It's kind of a evaluation of what we want to do on international aspect. John's going to get a do-over next year because, of course, COVID has kept us from a lot of our international, or has kept us from a lot of our international service initiatives this year. We have done a lot in Honduras, helping out financially, but we unfortunately didn't have any boots on the ground. So that's always exciting to have the boots on the ground over there, and we'll maybe get a chance to do that next year. Public Image, Catherine will stay on as Public Image. I think it'll be her 2.5 year doing Public Image. We're glad that Emily's going to stay on as the membership chair unless there's other nominations. Emily's done that for a couple of years and she's doing a fantastic job. Vocational Service, Bill will continue to serve in that role. He's done a great job, our connection to K-Tech and other things. And then, of course, we can't have a Rotary Foundation without Bill Drake. So Bill Drake will continue to chair the Rotary Foundation. Art, you didn't make it on here because it was my mistake, or not Art, but Fred, you didn't get on here because it was my mistake, but Fred will continue as Sergeant at Arms if there's no other nominations. So Fred, thank you for accepting that nomination. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, no.
Don
Okay,
Proctor.
my mistake. Dan, you didn't make it onto this, so my mistake, and that's probably why. So Dan, years ago said, hey, I'm interested in doing this job, this Sergeant at Arms. It seems like fun, great way to get to know the club. And then Dan moved for his work. So that kind of fell through. He was going to be maybe the Sergeant at Arms during my year. And then now Dan's back. So we're glad that Dan's getting a chance to engage with our club in the way that he enjoys. So Dan will be taking over for Fred as Sergeant at Arms in the 2021-2022 year. So that's the nominees. I'm excited about this year. We have a great group of leaders for 21-22. I'm going to open the floor for any nominations for any of the positions that we discussed here, especially the ones in blue. Is there anyone interested in throwing their name in the hat for these positions or nominating somebody else for these positions? Floor is yours.
Peter, I move that we close the nomination, vote in block.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and accept these nominations if there's no other discussion about it for the upcoming board. It's exciting times. Larry, was there anything else that we needed to do aside from give these folks a hand that'll be leading us next year?
No, for the club board, I think you've wrapped that up. We just need to make sure we cover the foundation board as well.
Okay, so congratulations to the upcoming club board. We look forward to your leadership. We look forward to another great Rotary year. I'm excited.
Peter?
Yes, sir.
This may be a little bit politically incorrect, but now that we have a president-elect, can we expect an orderly transition of power?
So
not for another 6 months.
Recount.
Yeah, I figured a couple of those jokes would make it into the presentation. So, okay. So we have our upcoming board, and then Larry, you'll have to help me with the international board or the foundation board. Can you kind of make the motion or the discussion point about what needs to happen there, since I didn't really have that in mind?
Yeah, so it's just that every year there are, the bylaws state the members of that foundation board. However, every year we elect as a club 2 at-large members to participate on the foundation board. And of course, the foundation board is the 501c3 that we run and where all of our charitable funds are accumulated and managed by that foundation board. The past president is the chair of that board. So Peter will be rolling into it. And the question in front of the club is, who will those 2 at-large members be? The nominating committee, kind of after the fact, but via email, went back to Bailey, Bailey Erickson, Nicholson, and Pat Cross, who were the members on my board this year. They agreed to roll over. And so the motion would be, unless there's any other nominations from the floor, of course, that would be the first thing. If there's no nominations from the floor, then the motion would be that we move forward to elect Pat and Bailey to the foundation board next year.
Oh, thank you, Larry. Okay. So are there any nominations aside from Pat and Bailey to serve as the members at large on the foundation board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept Pat and Bailey as our at-large members of the Rotary Foundation Board. Looks like Mark made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mark, the other Mark has a second. So the two Marks have agreed. Okay, so that motion passes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we have our foundation board and we have our Rotary Club of Madison board for 2021 and 2022. So that was the main business at large. So again, I'm looking forward to another great Rotary year. I think this will be my 13th or 12th or 13th Rotary year, and time flies when you're having fun. I just love the club. So is there anything else we need to discuss before? I think we still have a couple minutes. We took a little longer than I thought, but is there anything else we want to discuss before we wrap up for today?
Is there going to be bell ringing this year for Salvation Army?
Yes, sir. You should have gotten a sign-up sheet from Cynthia last night, Bill. I think she used the DACDB to send that out to all the club members, and that's going to be on December 12th.
And first come, first serve. So if you want to do it early, you need to get in your request now, because I've already got a couple of people who requested different slots.
So you should have that in your email, Bill. If not, just let me know or let Cynthia know, and she'll send that back out to you.
So Peter, I don't know if Bob Pro is on the call right now, but you know, one of the other requirements in the bylaws is that we get a financial update on the foundation account to the club, and typically we schedule that during the annual meeting. Doesn't have to be necessarily a formal thing with charts. I just thought maybe if Bob was on the call, he could just give us a verbal, and maybe you could check the block for that. Otherwise, you know, may want to schedule something after the first of the year to do that.
Okay. Bob, are you on here? And if so, are you prepared to do that, or we can kind of schedule that for another day?
I am on the call. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
If you give me 1 minute, I can go there. Just give me a second.
We have 3 minutes.
Okay. Keep talking amongst yourselves while I pull something up here.
Oh, well, since we need to talk amongst ourselves, if anybody's got any lawn ornaments like those light up deer, or I don't know, anything that you think we could use, an extra Christmas tree that we could decorate, or, you know, because during the night, the lights will be great, but during the day, it won't be so interesting. So if you've got any lawn ornaments you're willing to part with this year or forever, just drag them out on Friday or Saturday to the library, and we'll make use of them.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, go ahead,
Okay,
Bob.
so here you go. So as far as the foundation cash account is concerned, we have a balance of $71,018.70 currently in the account. We started this fiscal year off with $85,000. Mainly the difference between the two is the donation to the hospital for the portable ventilator that we gave them. So that was a great cause. The ins and outs this year have been a little bit few and far between. I mean, we have transferred some funds to our Honduras friends for some of the causes that we're supporting there. There's funds going out for the Thanksgiving baskets. Again, we get reimbursed for most of that through grants. So, you know, that balance should hold through the remainder of the year. There are some budgeted expenses that we'll continue to do for the next 6 months, but no threat of, you know, depleting the cash account too much further. So you'll end the year this year probably somewhere in the low $60,000 mark. So there's still plenty of cash that will remain in the foundation, keeping it healthy for years to come. I would think that next year we will replenish a solid piece of that if we get back to a point where the Parrots event or whatever events that will be decided upon will replenish that foundation account a little bit more than we did this year, because we had a specific cause that we donated all those proceeds to. We will be transferring, there's still about $5,000-6,000 in the special projects account that is designated to be transferred back to the foundation. So that will increase that 71,000 up to 78. And then again, we'll have our second half of the year expenses that'll take that a bit down. So very healthy account, healthy activity there, nothing out of budget that was unexpected. So, no real issues to report.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bob, for that impromptu update on the financials. Again, kudos to you for taking that role and making what it's become today so quick and easy to provide that at any moment, because you always have that up to date. So thank you again, Bob.
No problem.
And thank you, Larry, for keeping me straight. I appreciate it. Hopefully I can offer the same assistance to Chris next year. Okay. So with that said, we'll go ahead and start the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do first.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill and benefit?
And fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right. Thank you all. Have a great Thursday.
Bye, everybody.
Be safe.
Be safe.